I request all the conference attendees who have completed their registration to kindly come to the auditorium as soon as possible. I repeat, all the conference attendees who have completed their registration kindly come to the auditorium as soon as possible. We request all the dignitaries to please come on to the stage. We request all the dignitaries to please come on to the stage. I welcome Ms. Fatima Noura, Dr. Penny Joseph, Daya Bai, Dr. Paul Mundumurikara, Reverend Father Jose Mele Kojil, Dr. Mithila Malliga, and Ms. Rameshri. Kindly come to the stage. Please give them a big round of applause. I also request all the conference attendees to come on to the auditorium as we are beginning our inaugural function. Good morning, everyone. Respected dignitaries, esteemed guests, and my dear friends, it is an honor to welcome you all to this grand event, Lissom 24, the National Conference and Social Work Students Meet, hosted by Little Flower Institute of Social Sciences and Health. We are truly excited to have you all with us today for the gathering that promises to be insightful, inspirational, and impactful.
Absolutely. And the gathering is more than just an academic conference. It's a space for conversation, ideas, and innovation that will pave the way for the future of social work practice in our country.
Now, let us rise up, take a moment to praise and reflect as we invite peace and positivity into this gathering through our heartfelt prayer. Please rise up.
ഞങ്ങൾ പാടുമീ സ്വരങ്ങൾ കീർത്തനങ്ങളാകണി ചൂടുവയ്ക്കുമീ പാദങ്ങൾ നൃത്തലോലമാകണി അമ്മ നൽകുമ്മ പോലെ അമൃതമാകണി ഹൃദയരാഗതന്ത്രി വീട്ടി സ്നേഹഗീതരീതിയും കർമ്മഭൂമി തളിരിടുന്ന വർണ്ണവീതിയും
Now, with indeed happiness, let's move on to the official program. To begin this auspicious event, I would like to invite our conference coordinator, Ms. Fatinat Noora, Assistant Professor of the Social Work Department at Lissah College, to officially welcome the gathering. Ma'am, the stage is yours.
Respected dignitaries on and off the dais, delegates, teachers, and my dear students, a very good morning to you all. As we all know, we are here to experience Lissom 24, and I'm here living the moment which we were all dreaming for months. And it's indeed a pleasure witnessing all of you here with us in Lissah family. And of course, I'm honored to welcome you all into this program. Let me begin with Dr. Benny Joseph, Principal of Lissah, whose guidance is inevitable in the smooth functioning of this institution. Welcome, sir. It is my proud privilege to welcome our chief guest of the day, social activist Ms. Daya Bai. We did hang a picture of hers in front of our department long back, but never thought she'll be here with us to inaugurate our Lissom. Welcome, ma'am. It's a pleasure. May I also welcome the manager of Lissah, Reverend Father Paul Mundumurikara CST, who is the sole reason behind everything on and around Lissah. Welcome, Father. Let me also welcome Dr. Midila Malliga, State Project Officer of Kerala State Disaster Management Authority, to this ceremony. Welcome, ma'am. Let me also welcome Mr. Sharon Thomas, the Student Coordinator of Lissom 24, to this program. Welcome, Sharon. Let me extend a warm welcome to all the delegates and participants from various parts of our nation. And last but not the least, I would also have to welcome my core team of students and faculty at Lissah, wishing you all a great time here with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, for that warm and gracious welcome. Now, it's a privilege to invite the principal of Little Flower Institute of Social Sciences and Health, Dr. Benny Joseph, for the presidential address. So, we kindly request you to enlighten us with your thoughts.
Good morning to all of you. Respected Chief Guest, Dayabhai, social activist, our manager, Dr. Paul Mundumarikala, CST, Dr. Midila Malika, State Project Officer, KSDMA, Ms. Remisri, President KAPS, Ms. Fatimata Noora, Conference Coordinator, Mr. Sharon Thomas, Student Coordinator, Lissom 24, esteemed guests, faculty, and my dear students. It is an honor to welcome you to Lissom 24, a two-day national seminar on the theme Building Resilience, Innovative Social Work Practices for Enhancing Research Management and Climate Change Adaptation. Little Flower Institute of Social Sciences and Health, popularly known as Lissah College, accredited by NAC with an A grade, began in 2003 with the MSW program and became the first institution under Calicut University to offer a BSW program. Over the years, our Department of Social Work has become a pioneering force in Kerala, known for its blend of theoretical and practical education. We have been recognized with the Best Social Work Department Award by Enhance and the title of Best Socially Responsible Institution by the Kozhikode District Administration under the Campuses of Kozhikode project. Today, we find ourselves in a world facing unprecedented challenges: climate change, natural disasters, social and economic crisis. Building resilience is no longer an abstract concept, but a critical need for individuals, communities, and institutions. The theme of this seminar captures this challenge. Social work has long addressed human needs and advocated for justice, but today we must embrace innovation, research, and collaboration to address complex global issues, particularly climate change. Resilience is not just about recovering from adversity, it is about preparing for future challenges. In social work, this means creating adaptable systems that thrive in face of crisis. Innovation is key. We must think beyond conventional methods and adapt technology, interdisciplinary collaboration, and data-driven research to expand the impact of social work. Whether it is using digital platforms for outreach or building climate resilient communities, innovation will drive progress. Climate change is already affecting our lives, health, livelihoods, and ecosystems. For social workers, climate change adaptation means helping communities anticipate and manage risks from changing weather patterns and natural events. Our role is not just to alleviate immediate impacts, but to assist communities in developing long-term strategies to adapt and thrive. Over the next 2 days, we will learn from experts, participate in panel discussions, and explore new ideas to enhance our work. This is more than an opportunity to gain knowledge. It's a chance to build partnership and share insights that will last beyond this seminar. In conclusion, I encourage you to approach Lissom 24 with an open mind and a commitment to bring agents of change. Together, we can build a more resilient and sustainable world. Let us make Lissom 24 a great success. I also wish you all an enriching and engaging experience during your stay at Lissom. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your encouraging words. Now, there is the most awaited moment for all of us. Being a student of social work, here with us is an eminent social activist. It's a great honor to host this program with this inspiring personality on stage.
Thereby known for her work among the tribals of central India. She is a famous person for her tireless effort for the rights of women and tribals. Please give a big round of applause to this beautiful personality. We heartily welcome you to inaugurate Lissom 24.
Honorable people on the stage and outside, special guests, students, friends. First of all, some correction. Everybody say I worked with the tribals and all, that's not the everything. I'm a person who lived all the while according to my conviction or what I felt like doing. Social work may came much after. And another correction, I'm very gender conscious. I'm Daya Bhai, not Daya Bhai. For Malayalis, it is very difficult to make the difference. I always say Daya Bhai and Daya Bhai. Bhai is masculine. Now, when I was coming here, I was feeling, as I was always in my life, a misfit. I can't be so excited, this kind of thing. It's not so easy for me. Anyway, I wish the students or the very well, it's a wonderful experience that you were having, preparing for this kind of conference. Meticulously, every aspect, I saw the students taking care of various things. It's all wonderful. Yet, I'm a little bit disturbed about the materialism, even for decoration, for other things. We can make it much more simple because on one side, I'm hearing the cry of many, cry of the Mother Earth, cry of people all over. And I feel like saying, Kariyu, Kariyu, Keralame. On one side, when I hear that, we are thinking of doing some sort of thing to wipe the tears, to have intervention at all levels, in various ways. From the past few weeks or days when I move around in Kerala, I find there is no end of the need for intervention at every level to save the earth, to save the government, to save the people who are suffering because Article 21, right to life with the dignity, is denied to many, many and many. And the name God's own country, the most educated state, we need this kind of intervention which you are thinking, new policies, new kind of intervention. It's very good to think in that line at this time and go ahead and wish you all the very best to make this God's own country a little better, to be able to wipe the tears of the Mother Earth and the crying people. Thank you all.
Now, we invite all the dignitaries, along with our chief guest, to light the lamp and inaugurate the ceremony.
Thank you, ma'am, and thank you to all the dignitaries. Next, we are honored to hear the keynote address from Dr. Paul Mudumurikara, the manager of Lissah College. Let's welcome him.
Good morning to all. Here, thereby, Dr. Benny Joseph, Dr. Midila Malik, Ms. Minnie, Ms. Sharon, and distinguished guests, faculty, and dear students. First of all, I would like to acknowledge and appreciate the esteemed presence of distinguished guests whose expertise and dedication surely will be an asset for the Lissom 24. It's also a pleasure to see so many young students gathered here today. As we discuss the crucial topics of resilience, disaster management, and climate change adaptation, I want to thank each one of you for your commitment and dedication. Your presence reflects a shared commitment to build a more resilient and sustainable future for our communities. During the breakfast, I was speaking with dear aunt. She told me that MSW is not a career. Instead, it's a way of life. That is to say, you are studying not just for a career. Instead, as she was telling, to give your time and energy for the people who are in need. Then only the MSW is relevant in your life as well as the life of the society. In the context of India, where the dangers are incredibly high due to the vulnerability of nature disasters and the severe impact of climate change. Effective disaster management and climate change adaptation are crucial for the country's sustainability, economic growth, and social stability. Focusing on mitigation, preparedness, rapid response, and coordinated recovery effort, we can significantly reduce their impact on our communities and economy. That is why resilience is crucial. It helps to reduce the vulnerability, enhancing recovery and adaptation, promoting emotional and mental well-being, and above all, empowering the communities. Dear friends, resilience is the heart of the disaster management and climate change adaptation. It strengthens ability to anticipate and respond to crisis while fostering long-term sustainability and well-being. The role of the social workers in building resilience is essential. They not only provide direct support to individuals and communities, but also advocate for systemic changes that enhance overall resilience. Dear students, today Many experts are here to give you the guidance, not only theoretical, but also from their own experience. From their experience and from their theory, you are invited to learn so that you can help many people in India as well as abroad. So I wish you all the best this Lissom 24 so that you can gain a lot of knowledge and experience from the expertise. And also, it should widen your knowledge so that you have to help many people who are lost and who are in need of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Father. It was truly enlightening. Next, I would like to invite Dr. Midila Mallika, the State Project Officer of KSDMA, for her felicitation.
Honorable people, on and off the dais. First of all, I would like to express my sincere gratitude on behalf of myself and Kerala State Disaster Management Authority for having me here, and especially to Lissah College and Lissom 2024. And in the presidential address, as rightly pointed by Dr. Benny Joseph, it's really an appreciative thing that they have chosen this particular topic for this seminar. Actually, it's the need of the hour, as we all know that climate change is a very crucial thing. And as someone who closely worked with Wayanad landslide for the past couple of months, I truly believe how much a social worker can give to the society and contribute to the society. And also, like just now Father has pointed out, you are the person or the people who can identify the community and their real needs since you are closely working with the community. So, I'm not extending into the further things, and I'm not going to talk and dwell much into the disaster management principles or practices. I just want to say that since you have such an incredible institution who is coming up with such a thoughtful topics to build resilience and come up with innovative social workers, and I think your career and your and the future is very much safe with them. So believe in your institution and really work hard, because climate change is a multidisciplinary and transdisciplinary concept. Everyone can contribute, not only social work people from English department to technical department. It's the era of AI, so everyone can contribute. So from bottom of my heart, I'm thanking all the officials and especially the students. From since yesterday, the hospitality being provided by the institution is really incredible. Even though we are asking them, it's okay, we will manage. They are after us 24/7 for everything. They are with us to do any assistance or anything. So, on behalf of KSTMA and myself, I really thank and I wish all the very best for Lissom 2004 and for Lissah College's further endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next, we would like to take a moment to recognize a remarkable individual for his extraordinary service during the Wayanad disaster.
I would like to call upon the stage Mr. Bibin Chembakara from CWC. Now, I know you will be thinking why we are honoring him. He has been doing an incredible work for the Wayanad disaster. So let's put a big round of applause for this incredible personality. Now, to give the momentum, I would like to call Father Paul Mundumurikara along with Dr. Midila to hand over the memento to Mr. Bibin Chimbakara. I would like to call Dr. Benny Joseph, our principal, onto the stage, along with Father Niju Talachira, the manager of Lissah College, to hand over a token of love to Dayabai, our chief guest. Ma'am, it's just a token of love. Okay, so thank you. Next, we have another moment. We would call upon the stage the team of Caritas, that is, our dearest Haridas sir, along with Mr. Joseph, KSSF, Wayanad, and Villagad Landslide Projects Lead, along with Mr. Siddharth, Project Officer, COD Tamarasheri, and Caritas India Point Person for Tamarasheri Diocese. We would like to invite you to the stage. Now, to hand over the check from Lissah College, I would like to invite Dr. Benny Joseph, our principal, and Sharon Thomas, our student coordinator. This is also a token of love and care. And it's glad to know that Siddharth sir is our alumni. We are so proud to have him over here on the stage once again.
Now, to officially close the inaugural ceremony, we invite Mr. Sharon Thomas, the student coordinator of Lissom 24, to deliver the word of thanks.
Respected dignitaries, esteemed guests, participant teachers, and my dear friends, a warm good morning to everyone. We gather here today to mark the significant milestone of Lissom 24, the National Conference and Social Students Meet. The Lissom 24 National Conference provides a crucial platform for advancing social work practices in the context of disaster management and climate change adaptation. And Lissom 24 aims to highlight the transformative role of social work and building a stronger society. As we conclude and as we come to the end of inaugural ceremony of Lissom 24, it is my privilege to propose a word of thanks on behalf of Department of Social Work and Lissah College. First and foremost, we express our deepest gratitude to our esteemed chief guest thereby. We, the Social Work Department at Lissah College, honors your presence and inaugurating Grace at Lissom. Your tireless dedication to human rights and social change inspires us, and we are honored by your support. On behalf of the Department of Social Work and Lissah College, and I would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to you, ma'am. We extend our sincere thanks to Dr. Benny Joseph, Principal of Lissah College, for the support and continuous guidance for organizing Lissom 24. Thank you, sir. I would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Paul Mudurikara CSD, and your presence here today has elevated our conference, and we are honored to have had the opportunity to hear from you. Thank you, Father. And thank you, Dr. Vidila Malika, State Project Officer, KSDMA, for taking the time to facilitate our inaugural ceremony, and for taking the time to felicitate, and your presence and words of encouragement means a lot to us. Thank you. Also express our heartfelt gratitude, Ms. Fatima Noura, Conference Coordinator, for delivering a warm and insightful welcome address and persistent dedication to organize Lissom 24. Thank you. As social workers, we recognize the urgent need for climate action. This conference embodies our commitment to exchanging knowledge, ideas, and best practices, ensuring the vulnerable population are equipped to adapt, recover, and resiliently face the future. Once again, thank you everyone and wishing a great day.
Now it's time to end the program. But this is not the end. Actually, everything is going to start. I know from different parts of India we have students, and we are so glad to have you all here. So, this is for your kind attention. I would like to give you some instructions. Next, soon after the inaugural ceremony, you will be having a session by Dr. Jayakumar. So I request all the conference attendees to remain in the auditorium. I take this moment to thank all the dignitaries of the dais. Thank you so much for being with us in between your tight schedules. Thank you, everyone. For the kind attention of conference attendees, you'll be having an interaction section with Dayabai at 12:30 at NSS Garden. Thank you. For the kind attention of the conference attendees, കൃത്യം 12:30 NSS ഗാർഡനിൽ വെച്ചിട്ട് ദയാബായുമായിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു ഇന്ററാക്ഷൻ സെക്ഷൻ നടക്കുന്നതായിരിക്കും. അപ്പൊ എല്ലാ കോൺഫറൻസ് അറ്റൻഡീസും ആ ഒരു ടൈം ആകുമ്പോൾ കൃത്യം സ്ഥലത്ത് എത്താൻ ശ്രദ്ധിക്കുക. At 11 o'clock, we'll be having poster making and poster presentation competition at MSW first year. So those who are participating for poster making and poster presentation, please note you will be having a competition at 11 o'clock MSW first year classroom. കോമ്പറ്റീഷനിൽ പാർട്ടിസിപ്പേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്ന എല്ലാവരുടെയും ശ്രദ്ധയ്ക്ക് നിങ്ങളുടെ സ്കോർസ് ഇത്രയായിരിക്കും. സിംഗിൾ ഇവന്റ്സ് ആണെങ്കിൽ 10, 5, 3. That is, the highest will be 10 and then you will be having 5 and then 3. Group events ആണെങ്കിൽ 15, 10, 5. ഇതാണ് നിങ്ങളുടെ സ്കോർസ് വരിക. അപ്പം those who are participating, please be vigilant. Your scores for single events will be 10, 5, 3 and group events 15, 10, 5. Okay, now we'll start our section with Dr. Jayakumar. Please rise up and give him a big round of applause. I request everyone to please rise up and give him a big round of applause.
Good morning, everyone. It's my pleasure to welcome all of you to this seminar. We have an exciting session ahead filled with insightful discussions, and today we are honored to have with us distinguished experts in the field. Let me begin by inviting Ms. Aishwarya Thomas to formally welcome Dr. Jayakumar.
A very good morning to one and all present here. It is with great pleasure that I extend a warm welcome to our distinguished guest and resource person for today's first section, Dr. Jayakumar C, Additional Professor, Center for PSS in Disaster Management, NIMHANS, Bangalore. Dr. Jayakumar, alumni of NIMHANS, trained in disaster psychosocial care and mental health, has worked spanning over 23 years of field experience in both natural and human-made disasters nationally and internationally. He is a former senior consultant in NDMA, National Disaster Management Authority, Ministry of Home Affairs over 8 years, and responsible for preparation and release of NDMA guidelines on first national module on psychosocial care. He handled many disasters since 2001 Gujarat to 2024 Wayanad. He spearheaded the psychosocial response for COVID-19 by initiative National Helpline for the Central Health Ministry. His major areas of work are psychosocial support in disasters, stress and well-being. He is a member of national and international committees on disaster management. Resource person to various ministries, Department of Central and State, institutions like NDMA, NIDM, DRDO, BAE, National Police Academy, universities, state and central police organizations, UN, WHO, CBRN disasters for the nodal ministries and various countries' government institutions. This session will focus on the topic exploring the multifaceted dimensions of mental health and psychosocial first aid in disaster management. We are truly privileged to have Dr. Jayakumar C with us today. And I have no doubt that we will all leave this session enriched with valuable insights and knowledge. Welcome you, sir.
A very good morning to each one of you. Namaskar. Namaskar. Okay. So, it's my privilege to be here. Feel nice because I've been crisscrossing this place last 1 month. Before that, I thank my gratitude to Father Principal, Father Director Nijo, Father Manager, former Director, Founder of this college, Father, please forgive me, the name, right. And my friends, two of my friends are there, Dr. Anish from Amrita and Bipin. You are very familiar with Bipin, he's also your alumni. Because of him, I am here today. And you, my dear friends, can I say hello? You all say hi. Hello. Hi. Hope you all had your breakfast, right? So, today, this day, the entire day, we are going to deliberate and discuss something which is happening around us, which actually made us turn back into our own life. Not only our own life, our neighbors on the uphill, Wayanad, and other parts of Kerala, and other parts of the country. Hope you all got my point. Today, the disasters are happening everywhere. I still remember in 2005 when I landed in Karnataka, post tsunami. When I was talking to people there, they told me കേരളത്തിലെ ദുരന്തങ്ങളിലില്ല ഞങ്ങളുടെ നാട് God's own country. 2005 statement from some of the bureaucrats. But you know actually that post 2005, ഈ ദുരന്തങ്ങൾ has reached our doorstep, right? So that is actually the kind of evolution of disasters, disaster management efforts, all went on over the years. So my topic here is about what happens on the mental health front, right? So where is my Akila? Akila, come here and put that video. Right. So before I start, I would like to just walk you through a glimpses of disaster management. Rather, I would say disasters. Can you play that? Yeah.
एक जंगल का ऐसा जगह पूरा ही कराया पकड़ गया पूरा मुमकिन 300-400 घर था इसका ऊपर स्कूल था इधर थोड़ा आगे और स्कूल आगे 300 का ज्यादा घर था ये जगह पे दूसरा जगह पे 300 घर था अभी रेस्क्यू कर रहा है उन लोगों का कितना बॉडी गया तो मर गया तो पता नहीं കുടിവെള്ളമില്ല ഭക്ഷണമില്ല ഒന്നുമില്ല ഒരു കൊച്ചു കുട്ടിക്ക് പാല് പോലും ഇല്ല ഞങ്ങളൊന്ന് വളരെ കഷ്ടപ്പെടണം എങ്ങനെയെങ്കിലും ഞങ്ങളൊന്ന് ഇതിന്റെ രക്ഷിക്കുന്നതാണ് എന്റെ മോളും കുടുങ്ങിക്കിടക്കുമ്പോൾ അവർ പെട്ടത്തിന്റെ മണ്ടയ്ക്കാണ് അവിടെയാണെങ്കിൽ ആര് രക്ഷാപ്രവർത്തനത്തിനും വരുന്നില്ല ഒരു വയസ്സിൽ
So that is the question I ask each one of you who congregated here. Slide. So this is a disaster which happened there, and disaster brings in many aspects, right? So disaster brings in destruction, death, displacement, and many other things. Loss of lives, loss of property, loss of livelihood, injuries, total destruction of ecology, environment, everything. So, next slide. So let us see actually this 6-7 important component today. That is what the discussion we are going to have it here. Next. So what I was talking about disasters, everybody is very familiar with that soon, right? So disasters, according to WHO, says anything which is actually exceeding your capacity to handle, withstand in a psychosocial relief, okay? So whatever the definition says, the Wayanad stuff is fitting, which is ecological, which is beyond our capacity to handle, which is psychological, physical, social, everything. So that Wayanad, if you look at it, the definition itself is actually fixing it properly. And this is exactly actually we see everywhere. Next. So over the years, next. So if you look at it, where are we standing? The India, the Kerala, the Indian subcontinent. You know, our nation is Sare Jahan se acha hai. Wherever I go abroad, I find there's no place like India in terms of colors, in terms of culture, in terms of food, in terms of vibrancy. But we also have, equally, we are having disasters of every kind. We are one of the top 5 countries in the world. Look at actually the statistics which shows. We are top 5. So, and added to that, we have every kind of disaster. So, whether it is a landslide, you see floods. Now, the floods happened in South India. Now it went to Northeast. Now it is moving to West. So it keeps happening across the world, across the year. Next. And added to that, this is a kind of impact in terms of economy. It is just not the mortality and morbidity we are talking about. And we are also actually talking about the cumulative effect on the society, the cumulative effect on the nation as well, and the population as such. So look at this impact. Next. So where are we standing here? When I started working in disaster management in 2001, post super cyclone Odisha, people were confused. People did not know what to do. And it is actually open for all. That sort of a kind of a disaster management. One size fits to everything. So it's essentially khana kapada or paisa. Yही है disaster management that time. From there we have come far away. It was not an easy journey. From a response sort of a society, we moved to reactive sort of a society. To a response sort of a society, which not only looked about how to react to a disaster, but also how to respond, how to mitigate, how to prepare. In spite of all these things, actually, we get repeated hits every year for various reasons, which I will talk about it later, or you can ask me. I'm just putting certain flickers on your mind to actually put me some questions on this. Because I'm also actually representing Government of India. Because NIMAX is the Government of India's nodal center for providing psychological care not only in Indian subcontinent, across the Asian Ocean. So you can actually put some questions also, whether it is for or against. I'll be happy to answer that. Next. So what happens? Disasters, 3-4 things happens. The D's, D. Not that Malayalam D, Bravadi, Avdakodi, not that D, right? The first D is disaster. D. So disaster brings in all sort of things: pain, suffering, sorrow, miserable, everything, right? Then the next D, because of all these things, where you are going, distress, that is not a pleasant feeling. People saw you look at actually their body language, look at their face, look at actually what they are talking. And all of you have seen all sorts of news items, newspapers, right? So that leads to distress. And that is normal for anyone. Whoever is undergoing this sort of an unpleasant experience. Let me also come till the last. You're not the least, even though you are actually sitting behind it, right? So one of the important components of disaster management is to reach out to the last venture, last mile connectivity. And that's where. So here, what we are talking about is distress is a part of a normal response. And that distress results in dysfunction. Another D, the third D. Dysfunction, I'm not able to sleep. I'm not able to eat. Many people, if you go to Churulmala or Mundakai, people will tell this. Previously, I used to work 10 hours without a break. And today, even after working for 4 hours, I'm getting exhausted. So that dysfunctionality comes. And where it leads next? Disorder. Of course, you don't feel like talking. You don't feel like going and relating, meeting people, which we all used to do prior to disasters. So disorder, where the depression, I feel like depressed. So if we say no, he looks like depressed person. She is depressed. He was fine, today he is depressed. So depressed is a diagnosable sort of a state, but we easily use that. And final endpoint is, the final D is disability. So these things happen in disasters. Previous slide, Akila. Yeah, so different phases of disasters. I will not go into the detail. I just tell you, every disaster brings in large amount of support, humanity, altruism, so many things. People are pumped up. Why not? Everyone came from everywhere, including myself. But that is my job. So, but people came from Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Goa, Karnataka, everywhere, from Delhi, everyone. So this is a phase actually that everybody comes, everybody puts in hand, everybody joins together. So that is actually a phase everybody is there. So problem of plenty when it comes to Andhra Pradesh, Kerala. So many people were there in St. Joseph's School. So many people were there in Mepadi, all those relief camps. It is almost 1:10. One affected person was there, 10 people are there to support. And when we were talking there, 10 bottles are there for one person within 2 hours. 10 soaps are there, 10 bed sheets are there. So many things are coming on the immediate, right? So next is actually that impact. But before that, there is an early warning. So early warning was given here. It was an orange alert. But orange alert doesn't mean that actually they are going to predict accurately 495 millimeters of rain is going to come in 24 hours. They did not do that. But they gave a heavy rain. So that starts with this early warning, then the impact, a lot of rescue and all those things went on. Then later on, so many people came. And then later on, that is a honeymoon phase. So everybody wanted to get back. I was also there for 10 days. Then I had to move back to other parts of the country. Like everybody went back. So that honeymoon phase actually comes down. People are waiting off. Slowly, actually, the local people were actually the one who remained. Then, inventory phase. So these people, Wayanad people felt, so many people came from everywhere. They all supported us. ഞങ്ങളെ കൂടെ ഇരുന്നു 24 hours ഇരുന്നു എല്ലാം കൊടുത്തു അത്ര ഒരു സഹായം എല്ലാം കിട്ടി. I felt very happy. Then where are they now actually? They have come to that disillusionment. Ippo yarum illa. Camp center close to you. They actually sent us actually to relatives' house or some hired accommodations. Nobody is there. This place is not familiar with me. I know only Mundakai. I know only Churulmala. And this is a place, I don't know who is my neighbor. I don't feel like being here. So that is where the frustration, anger, being left out, you don't have mastery over your own life. I was talking to Father in the morning. He was using the same word, mastery. So in disasters, the mastery of your life, mastery over yourself, your life, the events actually goes on. There actually sets the distress even more and more. Right? So that is where actually that now they are there. And this reconstruction phase will go in the coming years. So there are so many organizations are talking. My friend Srinivasan is here. Caritas. So they are planning, building a program, how to actually bring them back holistically. It is just not actually on one front. On multiple fronts they require. Because disaster is a multi-dimensional event. It cuts across the lives. It cuts across the population. It cuts across the domains, whether it is health, livelihood, social integration, everything actually comes. So that is where we call it as a disaster. Why are we here today? Because it is not actually a sort of a normal sort of an event. It actually puts people's lives upside down. There are many people who don't know what is there actually available. They don't know their rights or how to move forward. See, the biggest question is that starting from the scratch, like after 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, entered the resort, 40-50 lakhs investment share. They are going, barring going. What I'm going to do it? Why should I learn? Should I live or should I not live? This is what keeps coming into my mind. So that exactly actually sort of a feeling you will get when you speak to people there. Next. So, what is that disaster management? So, disaster management essentially looks up everything in the spheres of life. It is just not providing water, food, and sanitation. It actually also covers everything, every aspect of life. And that is exactly what this actually talks about. So, next. So, according to that, which I was talking about, the basic things are immediately at the forefront. Later on, what you see in the first week may not be there. First week, they were all looking for their relatives, missing relatives. I should not, my father is missing, my wife is missing, my fiancé is missing, my girlfriend is missing, my brother is missing, everyone is missing. Or dead bodies are there, have to do the burial. Or one hand is only there, other body parts I did not get. Or one disaster. didn't get me. Okay. Why did you change the mic? Echo. Battery. Okay. So that is where, like the battery was changed, the needs also gets changed, right? Accordingly. So the very first week, you need the physical needs, very first 10 days or something. Then it goes into security needs. And then the support needs. Of course, everything was provided by the government, the NGOs, but still there is actually one wake-up always exists. How I used to be, I am not there today. My people are not here with me. I'm not in the same locality. I was born in Mundakai. I know only people around Mundakai. They were like my family. And I established connections, contacts. They know me, they know my family, my grandfather, my grandmother. We held a certain position in this village. I used to feel proud. The identity comes. But today there is no identity for these three places. You lost the identity. You are uprooted. There is no such place. Three places existed. Mundakai existed. Churalmala existed. Not anymore. And the government report says that it is inhabitable. I don't think actually that they are going to leave people to go back and live there. So that is done. You lost your identity. I was told by one person, sir, where I will go and say where I am from. Whenever I say this place, it goes back actually that how my 12 family members were gone. So I don't want to even recall my village name. See, the kind of distress. It is just not actually somebody has to die to get the distress. It is just not that somebody has to get injured to get the distress. You can get a distress, anything. So directly or indirectly. Next. So in India, always disasters comes with a social impact. When I was in US, post 9/11, there was a 9/11 incident happened. More than 4,000 Americans got perished. But there the support came, in two forms. One is an insurance money. Second is again the insurance on the healthcare. So you have a social benefits one side. Another side, everything is taken care by your insurance. That's it. You go to a shrink, get treated, put you on an antipsychotic or antidepressant medication, and that's it. You get the therapy and your life goes on, walks on. Everything is intact in your life, in spite of you losing your life and other things. But in India, it is not that. You go up and see people lost livelihood. People don't know where to go, how to start. Day before yesterday, I got a call from Kerala. People were talking to me. There are around 38 women who are standing alone. Means nobody is there in their family. They need to be actually provided psychological care. You see, 38 women who don't have anybody in Cholamala or Mundakai. No relatives, no husband, nobody is there. You see actually the kind of stress they may be undergoing. So it is actually a social issue here. Displacement, loss, everything comes together. And that is where actually that your well-being actually goes for a toss. You are fine till July 29th. July or June? June. July 29th, 30th is done. So your well-being was nice. People told me 11:30 we were having TV, we were watching movie, and we were having fish curry, everything. But 2 o'clock, nothing is there. So well-being goes from the ill-being paradigm. You are falling sick today. You don't have the immunity. You don't have anything. So it is all interconnected. My point here is that. Next. So, what are the implications on mental health side? You have a broad implications. So, diminished sense of self. There is no self actually that I told you. I'm not from Am I actually from such place? I can't see this place. And loss of place and bonds, loss of all these things actually I have already covered it. And weakened social ties. That is what is that actually keeping it together? See, whenever I land in Kerala, Kerala is not a strange place for me. I am also from your neighboring district, neighboring state, Nilgiris. Right? So, but what is that? Certain things actually Kerala connects. When you go to, see, I travel across the world. When you go to any place, the first thing in Kerala you will ask, Malayali or not? First thing. Second, Nadu. These two things actually comes. Yesterday, I actually was in Bangalore railway station, myself and Akila. We ordered actually our dinner. So somewhere actually that dinner fellow went to some place. So we were getting late and it was only 15 minutes there. That fellow said, sir, you have to cancel. I went to some other place. I said, I need dinner. Then his name was Jasmine. So I took a chance actually that he should be a Malayali. Peter Yam Malayali listen, sir. Jasmine Malayali. Sir, me Malayali. Can you actually give food for me because I won't get anything? And this guy actually, with that one word, he actually brought that food within 2 minutes of my train departure last night. So the connectivity comes wherever you go. And that is all mass. It was built over a period of time. Next. So these things actually, where it goes on different front impact. Need not be only on psychological front. It is on the physical front. I told you, people falling sick frequently. Previously, I used to be very strong. I am from Mundakai. Nothing happened. I used to roam. I used to go and take bath in, what is that? What do you call falls? Vellachad. Vellachad. Every Sunday I used to be in Vellachad. But today, I'm taking hot water. I get actually funny one. Right? So, that is physical impact, the economic impact. See, all these things are interrelated. If there is a change in one domain, definitely it reflects on the psychological front. So, you need not be actually only looking at psychological as a distinct sort of an entity. It is actually a sort of a collective entity where there is actually change in one domain. Definitely actually it goes into psychological domain. So in any disasters across the world, the study says that if one person is affected by physical impact, more than 4 to 5 people gets affected on a psychological front. So it is 1:4 or 5. That is on a environmental or a natural sort of a disasters. Or a conflict, what is happening in Manipur, what is happening, what's happening in Palestine, Israel, Sudan. So these places, Afghanistan. So these places, it is 1:20, human-made disasters, right? So it depends upon, differs from disasters to disasters. Next. So what happens? The impact, all those along with that, there are certain important things happens. I will not goes into the detail. So there are actually that burden of starting the family again, burden of starting everything from scratch, burden of building the home, finding some source to build the home, burden of actually educating the children, burden of taking care of the family. I wanted to go and study in Bangalore. Now my father is telling me, you go to, what is the college name? Why not college? The BCM college, or what is it? BCM is Kotel. Some colleges, a local college only you would go. We don't have money. Right? So, I was supposed to actually go and do my higher studies. Now they are telling me to get married. Because we don't have money. Right? So these sort of things, double burden it is coming. It is not that. So rebuilding this is actually going to be a major challenge
in any disasters. Why I am talking to you about Wayanad again and again is you can easily relate. Because our short-term memory is actually there. It is 1 month's time, 2 months' time. If I speak about Uttarakhand plus, none of you can relate it. I can speak about it. I'll give you some examples from there also. Next. So, what is that is happening on the mental health research front? I said impact is there, everyone is affected. But there are actually certain aspects was very, very prominent. Like I said, cyclones, wherever there is a cyclone, post-cyclone, there are actually number of things increases. It is just not the health is going down. The mental health issues actually goes up. But we don't have actually a proper data. But some of the data clearly have shown there is an increased rate of anxiety, depression, prevalence of depression. You must have seen post-COVID. It is just not that Sushant Singh Rajput committed suicide. There are many committed suicide because of struggle. Either their mental health issues before the COVID triggered it post-COVID during the COVID. Or because of the COVID, they had certain loss. Because of that, they went into that mode. Even in Wayanad, there were 2 suicides reported. I'm sure Pipin can actually talk about it. The DC Wayanad spoke to us. 2 boys went and committed suicide, looking for their fiancés. Their bodies did not recover, and they were part of a search committee. And then the moment they came to know that actually that these 2 girls perished, and they also actually ended their life. So it all actually can happen during a disasters, post-disasters, more actually chances are there, right? And some 10 days back, I was debriefing a group of Anganwadi workers in Wayanad who handled dead bodies. Anganwadi workers are not supposed to handle the dead bodies. But in disasters, they were made to handle this. And among them, many were actually themselves survivors. They lost 3 to 4 members. And when I was doing this session, many of them actually expressed, at least 2, 3 actually wanted to end their life because I don't have a husband, my child went. In spite of that, I worked here. And what is that actually I'm going to do in my life? So the ideations, the suicidal ideations comes. So all these things actually very, very prominent. So this actually cuts across everywhere. My point here is that there is actually a long-term mental health impact happens post-disaster everywhere. We don't know or we are not aware of it. So you as a student of MSW, I was like you in the year 95, 96 as a MSW student. And that time, there was my first brush with a disaster was in 1994 when I was actually in my final year undergraduation. Latur earthquake. So we 3 guys took a truck. We went to market in Ooty. We collected all the items, soap, provisions, everything, and we drove to Maharashtra from Ooty in a truck. And we distributed. That is what I thought actually that disaster management at that time. But that is not the disaster management. Being with the community is a disaster management. Helping the community in accessing the support is disaster management. That is what the psychosocial care. So it is just not the physical aspects. We need to look at social and psychological aspects. Next. How much time I have? Sorry, I should not overshoot. They also should not get bored, no? Too much of disaster is not good. Okay, so mental health issues, post-disasters. You will have everything, all the things. So many things. So 10 days back, I was talking to a psychiatrist of Calicut Medical College. They were also there in Wayanad. So how to go about it? All the things we cannot prevent, but some of the things we can prevent, some of the things we can actually provide support. So this crisis actually put us, everyone, to look into all the sort of things. There is one sick behavior, it is there. Sick behavior. We all have done. I have done in my childhood. If I don't want to go to school, I will say that I am having fever. I will keep hot water bag to make myself eat, so that my mother says, "Oh, my son is like having a fever." Then okay, you don't go to school. Then once she goes, and I used to go and play. Many of us done this sort of things, right? So here also the sick behavior, because so many items came, so many people were providing everything. There is more than actually what you need. So people will go into dependency behavior. So if I am sitting like this, if I talk about my own experience, people will come, one NGO will come and give everything again. Another NGO will come and give everything again. So this NGO is actually going and giving everything. I will not actually criticize them, but actually there is actually a disproportionate sort of a distribution also goes in a disaster. And that leads to actually sick behavior. The dependency, right? So many other things. So that is where actually that we require. Next. So what all things actually happens? Influences. So one is Kerala is a high literacy place. Before coming to Kerala, I was in West Bengal. And I was Orissa responding to two type of disasters. You know the kind of actually the difference between them and us. I mean, you can't actually imagine actually that. The southern states are actually far away, far ahead of others. So you have an adequate number of people who are aware about everything, what is happening in the society, what is the role of a panchayat, who is actually doing what, everything is actually there. So the literacy, but mental health literacy is also high here. You have actually colleges, schools, Department of Psychology, Social Work, and you have actually a very good civil society. You have actually your media. Everybody highlights actually about it. One good example is that our Arjun, the lorry driver, truck. So the whole society was behind supporting, making aware. Finally, there is a closure has come for the family. But in Wayanad, there are many families who don't have any closure. 200 families still missing, 200 to 300 families. They don't know actually that there's no psychological closure. The government will declare after 7 years, Midila after missing. Yeah. So this is actually not going to be a nice thing. The same thing happened in Oki super cyclone. 150 did not come back. Still, actually, they don't know actually where is their husbands are went to sea. They never came back. Whether they are in the sea, inside the sea, we don't know. So that is exactly actually that. But Kerala society has good amount of actually mental health literacy. But in terms of a disasters and the post-disaster impact, it is still actually not adequate. But the kind of actually the efforts which is going on from the government as well as non-government side, and there is actually good understanding about the need for providing care not only on the short term and also long term. If I say one, you have to get up. If I say two, you have to say one. First. One. First. Get up. Two. Two. One. Two. One. Two. One. Two. 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 Right. Some of you are slowly going. Okay. It happens. The brain. You can't actually absorb more than 45 minutes of information. Your brain actually gets exhausted. easy to speak, very difficult to listen. Here. So, community outreach, government assistance, intersector, all these things actually matters. How are we responding? Kerala already responded in 2018. I was also there, part of that. And today also they are responding. So good. Kerala model is a good model of response. Of course, there may be some limitations. That is there everywhere. Next. So the left side will happen all these things short term. The right side will happen long term. Wherever there is actually a disaster. Okay? So increased alcohol, substance, all the things will increase now. Previously I was smoking 4 cigarettes, today I am speaking 1 pack. Previously I kuppi 4 peg adichu, ipo 8 peg adicha maatram effect undu. So this is where actually that they will say. Right? So this is actually a short term, long term. Next. So who are all the survivors at risk? So these are all some of the vulnerable groups at risk. But those all these photos of all my original photos, the tsunami, the Gujarat, and all those things. So they are actually the vulnerable population, the children, the women, the elderly. All those people are actually at risk population. Next. So, what is that actually the scientific front says? The research front says. Today, the MRI studies, the latest MRI studies on brain says, whoever is there in a disaster place, undergoing a stress for a long time, their brain structure actually changes. So, you need not be actually your psychological stress. Even your brain structure changes. So that's what the MRI scan can actually prove today. So we are actually studying this also on multiple fronts. Next. So added to that, it is need to be actually only to us. No. It can actually come indirectly also. Even a Kozhikode, Malappuram, this Nipah virus, that virus, this virus, all comes from here. No, it is not only coming; it is detected. Kerala has a very good surveillance system. That is why it is getting detected. Also, there is a vulnerability. So this is actually some of the way. I mean, we handled this in Tripura, culling. Here also, Tara culling happens many times. So the loss of livelihood, the cattle, the farmers, the villagers, whose lives depends on this, not only lives and livelihood, also emotional aspects. And that also actually goes, so distress comes. Next. So another thing actually adds our psychological distress. The rumors. Between is here, he will tell you how many calls he got for marriage. Not he, he's already married. Have a sweet family. The marriage proposal for the women who are in Wayanad. People used to call from different states. There are so many women out there, I want to marry, I want to marry. See, there should be some logic. Is there any lady who lost so many people will be in a state of mind to marry? You see that how actually outside this rumors goes on. So many children are orphaned. It is not so many children. There are around 80 to 90 children. Huh? 6. Only 6 children only complete orphaned. But otherwise there are somewhere some family, father or somebody there. But we used to get a call in civil, this one, station. So many children are orphaned. Or another landslide is going to come. This actually increases unnecessary stress. And this is going to continue everywhere. So, the real news and the fake news also increases the psychological distance. Next. So, helplessness and hopelessness will be paramount everywhere. Next. So, we need to understand the differential impact. Like I said, to help somebody, we need to understand the differential impact. Like our mother understands us. Mother only knows if we don't want to go to school, if we are not happy, she will come and ask, what is the issue? Whether you are well or not well, whether is there anybody troubling, or anybody actually threatened you, or your teacher, or she will ask, put a question from every side. Whereas father will say that, "Nee poyikoda," right? Or somewhere actually that he will only think from one or two angles, whereas mother will think multi-dimensional. So you have to be like that. Cultural and social sensitivity. So absolutely, from my own experience in last 24 years in disasters, this cultural sensitivity is important. When I went to Wayanad, across from the India, so many colleges, universities called me, "Sir, we would like to send 50 psychology students." What I will do with the Hindi-speaking students in Wayanad? Cultural sensitivity. And there were actually many people brought in clothes to Wayanad. Used clothes, used undergarments. Who will actually accept it? Cultural. When I was in tsunami, this Sardars came from Punjab. First week they were giving chapati and aloo to Nagapattinam, Kadalur people. 3 days everybody was fine. Oh, Sardar ji, इतना दूर से आया है, बहुत अच्छे लोग, right? खाना दिया है. The fourth day, all the chapatis were in the road. We want meenum chorum. Fishermen. We don't want to see. Your intentions are right, but the actions are actually not suiting to the community. So the cultural sensitivity, the social issues. So you have to go with that. There are 3-4 type of people in Wayanad. It is just not actually the locals. It is the people, businessmen who are from outside Wayanad, came and put up lot of resorts and all the stuffs. They were employing people from various other states. There are plantation workers who have been for years and years and ages were not given their adequate. I will not go into those details. You will understand the legend in herself is sitting here. And she will tell you about what is that actually lagging. So where is that? The marginalized group. Whether all these interventions are actually focusing on them or actually focusing on the people who have or have not. Or it is equally distributed. Everybody with the equal right actually got the right to actually access the available this one. So these are all some of the, it's not the question. It is not about, it's about the feeling. It is the mental health issue later on. Feeling of being discriminated, feeling of being left out, feeling of being actually segregated. So everywhere actually leads to a feeling of psychological issue as out of a distress. Next. So the lifestyle changes, it comes. Definitely it actually goes into it. I will take some questions on it. I will not explain this. You just remember this slide, you can actually ask me some questions. Next. Demands, I told you, we are working for last more than 4 decades. We actually developed, we work with the government, non-government institutions and everywhere. And we are actually today come a long way trying to actually reach this everywhere for every population, every state, and every level actually, right from the bureaucrats to the executive to the implementations to everywhere. So I'll not go into the details, you can ask me some questions. Next. So what is that actually psychosocial care? We have to provide for everyone. Nobody is untouched, everybody is touched by this trauma and distress. Only the level varies and we need to provide both short-term and long-term care. Next. So I already told you how these three things are actually important and where they actually leads. Next. So what is that actually we can provide? We provide actually a set of protocols, immediate, after, and on an ongoing sort of a thing. So here I'm supposed to speak about psychological first aid, but I will restrict actually only with very few points. So the psychological first aid comes in first 15 days, and B, psychosocial care, which goes for 2 weeks to 2 months, and psychosocial rehabilitation goes from 2 months to 2 years, and the rebuilding goes for 5 years to 10 years. So we worked in Gujarat type sort of a disasters for 5 years to 10 years, tsunami, short-term disasters. It may be actually depends upon the kind of loss, the enormity of the disaster, the type of actually the help it requires. There are so many actually aspects actually which comes. Next. So when we were talking why not, why not, why not? So the whole media was about why not. Then why not actually suddenly disappeared after 15 days or 20 days? Everybody was going there with him. Right. So that is where actually that we need actually sensationalization sort of a stuff. But the distress remains there. Right? HEMA is about one particular individual or a set of individuals. But Wayanad is about a community, a families, children, the environment, the ecology. But I don't demean actually anybody's distress here. But I'm telling you, we as a society, whether it is a Kerala or whether it's an Indian society, sensationalization is actually that we actually go behind. And that is what the consume. So you as a social work students in the coming years, you are all part of the millennium kids, right? Millennials. So the millennials need to be aware of what is that actually sensationalization, how it actually helps you in your own life, in your own growth, in your own society is actually upliftment and your own upliftment. So it is, whether it is there or not, you need to decide. Because you are a society, we can't actually teach you. You are far ahead of us, far ahead of me. My PhD scholar, I actually depend on her for many things. I'm actually a technologically challenged guy, whereas she is my right hand. She only actually does everything so super fast. When I ask something, she will actually come up with that solution immediately. So you all have actually that advantage in your hand. So look at actually that, whether you have to be sensible or you have to go behind the sensationalization stuff. Two things are actually there to leaving it to you. So PFA is an immediate sort of care, which is very, very easy. You can go to the website, YouTube. Three things are important: look, listen, and link. This is exactly actually happens in psychological first aid. That is an immediate form of support system which is provided people who are in distress, like the physical first aid. So it is an easy protocol. So these three things are important. So you have to be with the people. You have to listen to them, whether they're angry, whether they're sad, whether they are actually not interested, whether they're frustrated. So you have to do that and link actually that. Wherever, what sort of help they want, you can actually link actually that. Not that link which we talking about. Look and link in college. That is also one type of psychological first aid, you know. Look, link. All of you must have experienced like the Premam movie. Right? Jokes apart. So what is that actually? That strategies for active listening. So you have to listen, but it's not that easy. St. Joseph's College relief camp was filled with more than 1,000 people. It was brimming with people and people. You can't actually go and listen to those people. It is not a very conducive sort of a thing. surrounded by 100 people or 200 people, listening to them, what is happening in your life, right? So this is some of the things you have to be as an active listener. Anyway, I will share these slides with you. You can actually go through it. It is not that easy in a disaster scenario. Next. So link. So you have to understand the needs, how to help, how to prioritize. So you need to link the people to whether it is a WCV department, or it is an NGO, or it is a SRIAS, or it is our CST fathers. So anybody is there who is actually supporting these people, you need to link them. Next. I think you are from Northeast. From where? Andaman. Which part of Andaman? South Andaman. I happened to work in tsunami in Car Nicobar. So you know actually that when I'm talking about all these things, people who died, there also 8,000, 9,000 people died. But none of the indigenous people died there. Right? They understood somewhere, they were all inside the forest. None of them actually got anything. But whereas all the domesticated animals, we are also animals, social animals, and the cattle died. So why there is actually a big question is there. Think over it. Why nothing happened to the indigenous people, whereas actually that many of the people who migrated from Calcutta and Chennai were actually died. Why? I'm putting a question to you. I'll come back to you in the end. So how we can actually provide the psychosocial support? We can provide at every level, with every resources. You need not be from a mental health background. You can be a student, you can be an Anganwadi worker, you can be a volunteer, you can be anybody, professional, non-professional. Only thing is that you need to actually look into what is the resources, what is the strengths people have, and you have to leverage rather than actually always depending on the resources from outside. Every community has certain strengths. So you need to actually provide psychological care. You can't only depend on only external support. So look at from both software and hardware. Means it is actually the innate support. Like tribals, Madam can say that. This is the Andaman story I am bringing in. The tribals, the indigenous people, how they were able to actually protect themselves. And here also in Churalmala, that before, beyond that, what is the place? Punjarimattam. There the tribals actually escaped. How? There is a big question for all of us. Next. So as I told you, anybody can provide psychosocial support. Next. All these people. So basically to bring a better adjustment and a mastery over their lives. That is exactly actually that. So you have a number of techniques are there. I will not go into the detail. Probably when Bipin and management organizes some program later, we can actually come and do sort of a program there. I think they are from KAPS side. I think Dr. Anish and the Bipin and all, they are planning for something like that. So we will meet that time. Next. So any care needs to be like an umbrella. Kerala and umbrella or Poppy are actually so close. Right? Poppy and Kerala, St. John's and Kerala. So disasters and umbrella is also very close. So anything actually that you need to think holistically, psychological thing cannot go alone. It needs to be integrated sort of care. When I'll tell you an example from my own experience, we handled one cyclone in '98 in Gujarat. That time we trained barefoot counselors for actioning. I'll tell you the name of the organization. How to provide this one. At the time I was actually post MPhil. I mean, I'm finishing my MPhil. Finished the MPhil. It was happened in 2000. So what happened was we did train them. These volunteers from these villages, we pushed them into the village to provide psychological care. We asked them, you have to go and listen to them. You have to make them speak. So first week they came and gave us very good feedback. सर हम लोग जब गया है अंदर ये लोग एक्चुअली बहुत अच्छा से महसूस किया इन लोगों को अच्छा लगा but again the same people came back and told after 3 weeks time ये लोग हमको मना कर दिया है गांव के अंदर आने के लिए why because जब तुम आते हैं अंदर तुम हमको रुलाते हैं because you don't know what to do after that. You are a volunteer. So you just can't be actually a mental health professional. So how this can be actually consumed? So my teacher, Dr. Srinivasan Murthy, who was a legend in community psychiatry, he used to say that psychosocial needs to be like a salt. Namak jesa ho, uppu podan down. Uppu ella padarthangalonu irukku. Right? You make a recipe, you make a one sadhya, you put everywhere equal amount of whatever it is. And that's what actually adds the taste. So this is actually like that it should go. Uppu pola ella padarthangalonu down. So that's exactly actually the simple actually this one. Next. So we have to bring in that caring community. At the end of the day, I am not the solution. The organizations from outside is not the solution. It is the inside people who are the solution. It is the inside experience, inside knowledge, the translational knowledge, the traditional wisdom. What is our grandfather, grandmother taught us? What is there actually the community's know-how? This is exactly actually going to bring down the distress and make you resilient to face anything in future. And that is exactly actually we have seen across the place, across the globe. Orissa today is actually a better disaster management state in terms of preparedness. I closely work in Orissa for last more than 20 years. People know actually that what to do exactly. So the traditional knowledge wisdom plays an important role. It is just not our textbooks. It is not your casework, group work, community organization, social welfare administration. Of course, they are equally important, but you have to actually be culturally be aligned with that. Next. So, what is the way forward for it? Now I'll stop it. I'll take some questions. Any questions? You can give them a mic if anybody wants. എല്ലാവർക്കും മാനസിക സമ്മർദ്ദമായ സമ്മർദ്ദം എത്ര നേരം കേട്ടു Yeah, any questions?
Myself, hello, I'm from Madras School of Social Work, Chane. So my question is, like, you talk about the NGO that give things to the people who are like a disaster, but do they actually give things to their life? How do you deal with those NGOs and organizations?
See, any disasters, number of players come and provide critical care and support. Because we need actually multiple sources. We need actually synergize actually all this material support and whatever sort of a support. The issue is that comes in the distribution domain. like I said, when I was actually, we were talking to this migrant community in that, what is the estate? Some estate back in Wayanad. So they were all actually having more than 10 soaps, more than 10 bottles of water, more than 10 towels, more than, everything is more. And those kids, the migrant kids are actually so confused because they have never seen in their lifetime some 20 play toys on all iPod play toys. If they had stayed in MP or some other place, they would have seen only in probably in TVs. So this is exactly actually that. You see, this is actually a kind of this unrestricted distribution. What happens? So they will know actually that if we are here, MP is coming and giving, MLA is coming and giving, this person is coming and giving, that NGO is coming and giving. So if I stay here, if I show that I am actually not feeling good or something, we call secondary gain. It is actually, it goes into diagnosable sort of a thing. It is Munchausen syndrome. It is actually a psychiatric condition. Later on. I'm not talking about initial stage. Right? So this is exactly actually that. So this not only actually creates disharmony among the peoples, it is actually also actually reduces people's self-esteem. See, you have lowering some people's dignity actually there, giving too many things in a short period of a time, which is unwanted beyond actually certain capacities. I'll tell you one example. In 2015, I was handling Chane floods. You know that some of you are from Chennai, so I'm bringing Chennai example. Near Gandhi Mandapam, Arayat Bridge, they were actually providing food, breakfast, morning 7 to 8. 15 15 people, different people came and provided 15 breakfasts for the people who lost everything in that Kuam water actually this month. You don't have a washroom, you don't have a house, you are actually getting repeated breakfast. What you do? Everything was you can see water and food you can have only limited. You can have so much of money, but you can't have so much of water. You can't have so much of food. However you like. I like Padapuri. Whenever I say come to this one, I'll ask Akila. First thing, where is the chaya and Padapuri? But I can eat only 2 Padapuri. After that, I can't eat it. No? So desire is there, but capacity is. So exactly actually. So these things actually creates lowers the dignity from a social work point of view, lowers the self-esteem, increases their helplessness, and also actually that secondary gain sort of a thing. Yeah. So exactly actually that. This needs to be actually streamlined. Or they have to actually wait for something. It is not going to happen. Because every organization has their own agenda. Every organization wants to actually do good work. But every organization also wants to be the first. Every organization wants to, whether it is an organization or an individual or something. So everywhere actually it happens. Cuts across the board. Whether it is India, whether it is abroad, everywhere. But only actually certain places actually that it is very, very streamlined. Like in Japan, like in their places, these things actually doesn't happen. Whatever is requirement, only requirement. That's all. You don't actually go. See, that is where no, there it is not a social issue. Here it is a social issue. The society gets affected because still we are actually in the mode of a welfare state only, because we have so many mouths to feed, so many people's home to be lighted up, so many people to be educated. So we are actually still in that first basic needs only. They have gone into that 6th level, 5th level people. So that's exactly the difference. Not the Kerala society. I'm talking whole as a country. Yeah. Any questions?
Hi, sir.
That is the question.
Sir, I'm Arya Das from Madras School of Social Work. So my specialization is disability and empowerment. So my question is also related to that field. So the question is, what is the effective social work strategies or supportive system exist for building resilience among individuals with disability? And could you please share your experience working with person with disability?
See, disability, again, it's a very good question. I will connect with Neha. What is it? Arya. No, Tanu. Tanu from South Andaman. Exactly which place of South Andaman? Huh? Ah, you said your fourth place. Like that. Now the name changed. So, see, I'll give you one more example from this one. In same Andaman, in 2005, post-tsunami, there used to be around 400 to 600 disabled population, entire Andaman. Around 400 to 600, I'm not actually very clear about the data, but 400 to 500 were there. I worked in this place for 3-4 years. 2009, I think, 8 or 9. When we went there actually to see these people, we could not find even one person there. Even if the records are alive. You know what happened? What would have happened to them? We could not find not even one. What could have happened to those people with disability? They may not be there because I told you the lifestyle changes. Because this is the most vulnerable. They are pre-vulnerable. They may be on medication. They may be on treatment. And post-disasters, there is actually a disruption, cessation in the care and support. And the kind of things, so it must have actually reduced their immunity, their ability to withstand things must have actually gone down. So the mortality goes high. So in any disasters, the rate of mortality among the vulnerable population, especially the people with disabilities, is very high. But we don't have a data to support, but from my own experience, cutting across the states, I can say. One of my another scholar, Anandi, she herself is 68% disabled. She is also from Chennai, her MSW from Loyola College. Now, presently she's a post-MPhil, presently she's doing a PhD under me. She's actually looking at this aspect. So there are actually good guidelines are available, plans are available, but it is all for the general population. People speak about people with disability, but they don't know actually the implementation part is actually very, very difficult. I tell you another example. Whenever there is actually a disaster happens, the rescuers goes, and their vehicle is actually 6x6 vehicle. Like the car is there 4x4. The rescuers, the NDRF or fire and rescue people's truck is used to go. It is 6x6. It will be like this. Even people like me is very difficult to actually climb and go. And how disabled will climb that? So still actually the basic common sense of actually rescue protocol is actually disturbed. So there are a number of articles, I mean this one, that is exactly her areas now. So we are going to push this actually as a national level plan and guideline. So she's working on her PhD on that. Like Akhila is working on Wayanad landslide. She's going to look at various mental health issues. And so those things are she's going to focus on that. So each one is actually there. So some of you who are the thesis side, MSW second year, you can pick up actually some of these issues of people with disabilities, why not landslide, different population. There are a number of areas to actually cover it. So at the end of the day, it is still inadequate in India. We have a long way to go. We have a long way to go. How many of our colleges, how many of our hospitals are run free? Disabled friendly. It is not our bus stands. Even including my own hospital is not actually very PW she has to write every time to the director. Sir, I'm writing a letter. I went to library. This is very sleepy. I can't walk. So I'm writing it. So it is actually a struggle going on, and that is exactly actually that. So we have some things which is not it's like some time back they called us for a meeting of how we can actually slum developers improvement, and the meeting happened in Taj Kanimara. You understand what I'm telling? So when we had actually the stakeholder meeting in Taj Kanimara, and none of the stakeholders were inside the Taj Kanimara. All the people who are like us actually were there. Stakeholders are not allowed inside Taj Kanimara with all this stuff. That exactly actually happens. Paradox of life.
Thank you, Dr. Jaykumar, for the nice presentation. It was really useful. Actually, I was in Wayanad for almost 40 days, and 20th, few days back, 20th, when we were traveling from Churalmala to Manandawadi, we got a phone call that one 8-year-old girl child is waiting for her parents and brother who lost their life in the landslides. But she survived because she had a small accident, she was in the hospital. But this girl was not informed of the death of her parents and brother, and she is still waiting in front of the house for her parents and brother. After 40 days, I am telling this, after 40 days of this incident, this girl, you just see, and they told her brother, that the brother of the parents, they told her that they will come back, and she is waiting. And this is happening after 40. I met another person, 24th, I met another person. Today, I have his phone number and all that. When we had the distribution, we had the Caritas was distributing things to the people in the fine wash. He came in the distribution, and he's not asking anything. He was not in the list, also we cannot give anything. He was not in the list. He was just wondering, and he was the way we can, and he is on the peak of his trauma, And when we talk to him, he is not able to talk. He is weeping because two of his sons, he has only 2 sons, they lost their life, and wife is in the news. Why he was not included in the list is, he was in the hospital with his wife. So he collected information from the camp so that he was not, so his name is away. So there are a lot of these kind of cases. How to handle these cases? Can you please help us? Because with your vast level of experience in this trauma care, is there any way? Because these 2 cases that I have seen after 40-45 days of these incidents, how can we really? Because one thing very important, that area was flooded with food and other things. No? But we have to take care of the psychosocial support from the day 1 onwards. And these kind of cases were missed after 40-45 days of these incidents, means how sad it is. And people like Dr. Jaykumar and team can really support us. Can you please help us?
Thank you for bringing those 2 important issues. One is about breaking news. Should we break the news or we hide the news? Which one is good? How many of you are breaking the news? How many of you are not breaking it? How many are there? How many say we should actually tell the child that your father is not going to come? How many says no? Only very few. How many says no? We should not say anything. We should not pray. How many? Here, many people are neither this side or not that side. that is actually a poocher mother in the more, a poocher code. Cat on the wall. So it is always actually better to break the news. Because if you give them closure, it will give them actually, what happens here, I'll tell you on the children friends. A child brain is still growing. It is not that adult brain. My brain is an old brain. Okay, it is going, sliding. Every day I'm losing. All of us are losing ourselves. And my brain is actually always, it is done and gone almost. But a child's brain is at 18 years, below 18 years. It is still on the verge of actually developing, growing. On different fronts. It is just not the physically, weight-wise, it is not growing. It is growing on the emotional front, cognitive front. It is actually developing on a neuropsychological, neurophysiological front, neurobiological front. So if you are not providing this sort of an information, because this is an age where you are actually finding most sort of the security, protection from the parents. And if you are not providing this information, the child itself will fill those information in the head. Like for example, wherever I go, many times in Indian society, people will say, "Sir, हम लोग बोला है, पापा भगवान के पास गया है." Right? അച്ഛൻ അമ്പലത്തിൽ പോയിട്ടുണ്ട്. ശരിയല്ല? അമ്പലത്തിന്റെ ജോലി, പള്ളിന്റെ ജോലി, പള്ളിന്റെ കാര്യങ്ങൾ പോയിട്ടുണ്ട്. അങ്ങനെ കുറെ പ്രശ്നങ്ങളാണ്. This is I've seen in Uttarakhand. Papa gaya hai Bhagwan ke paas kaam karne ke liye. Because Papa was working with the Bhagwan in that Kedarnath side. They did not come back. So exactly actually that this is going to actually create a sort of an expectations, unwanted expectations, unfulfilled desire, expectations. All these things actually will create actually a large amount of insecurity, anxiety. It will come in the way of development as such as a whole. So the total development of the child will get affected. This child will grow how? Later on into a very insecure child, very actually fearful child. This child will not relate with actually any men because father figure is not there or some role model is there. All of us actually look at our father. I love my father. I will always communicate with my father. My father will accept me, whatever I say. Even if I do some all sort of this one, my father is cool about it. My mother will always say no. I don't actually say anything to my mother. But when I will say I'm riding bike, I'm going here, I'm going there, I'm going roaming with people, with boys, everyone. So he is actually fine. So I have that actually confidence actually do that. But my mother always, എവിടെയാ നീ 4 മണി എവിടെയാ നീ ബസ് സ്റ്റാൻഡ് എത്തിയോ ബസ് കിട്ടിയോ എവിടെയാ നീ യാർ കൂടെ ഉണ്ട് all this right so that is exactly that so this is happens so for the child it is going to be holistic implications just not about the personality will get affected it is development it is his studies academic everything actually gets affected 20 to 30 years ke baad we will actually understand it. Sir, Srinivasan, we are also actually, to your information, we are actually looking at 6,000 children's brain. We are doing a study on them, people like children like these areas, how their brain is actually changing. I told you, structure of the brain changes. So there is a big project actually going on in Limans. Param project, it is called Param. So we are looking at actually what are all the implications for this child today with the kind of changes which is actually happening in the brain and the neurobiology and what will happen after 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. There is actually a big study going on global level. NIMANS is actually doing in India for that. So it has actually long-term implications. So coming into the care part here. So we need to actually support this child, immediately reach them, this child to be taken to a mental health professional, provided actually support, and this child actually needs to be actually made part of the other children also. So that is exactly actually that. See, one of the initiative I will also actually tell you, Bipin. Bipin is the one who initially facilitated the NIMANS team with the entire district administration and all. Then we worked at different level, right from the special officer, special secretary to the DC to different people there. And we devised actually a number of strategies. And the WCD, Women and Child Development Department, came back to us and asked us actually to take care of this 570 children who are affected one or other way. So number of friends actually that it is going, and I think Bipin played a very major role in the initial days. 30th and first and second and all, he was the one who was coordinating the psychosocial care because there are so much of commotion. Everybody wants to be a counselor. And this person is there. I was wondering at that time, who is this actually? Because my name was also added into that WhatsApp group. And everyone free for all. Nangala psychosocial counselor, Nanum psychosocial counselor, Nanum. I am the psychosocial counselor. So this is the one person with some, who is this? I asked also from Bangalore, who is this actually some sensible person is there who is trying to coordinate, get me connected to this person, I said. Then only we got in touch, we came to know about each other, and from there actually that it went on. So he is also proud alumni of your college. And I told you I'm here because of him. So he is actually doing an extremely good job back in Wayanad on various fronts. Probably, I think this child needs to be actually connected to him, and they're already doing it. Yeah, they're already doing it. But this child needs actually a long-term support. Long-term support. Like many of the children are there. We handled around 173 orphans in Nagapattinam alone. So we tried these children, and today among the children I handled, 5 of them actually are sub-inspectors of police who lost all the family members, single child standing. So that's another thing. If you kind of support you provide, they can actually go long way. They are married, they're single. So this is what actually that. So you are all actually little flowers. You are all actually budding little flowers. So Lissah has given you an opportunity. They are going to sow you across the world. So wherever you are, bloom happily like that little flower college and the little flower. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for the enlightening session. Now, I request Dr. Jayakumar sir to be on the dais to receive the memento and certificates. I invite Reverend Father George Sandakar CSC to hand over the memento and certificate. I would also like to thank our our attendees for your participation and engagement throughout this session. Thank you.
Now you will be having a tea break. After that, right at 12:30, you will be having an interaction session with Dayabai at the NSS garden. Okay, so I'm repeating. Now you will be having a tea break for 10 minutes. After that, at 12:30, you will be having an interaction section with Dayabai at the NSS garden. Thank you. Okay, NSS garden is located near the entrance. നിങ്ങൾ കയറി വന്നപ്പോൾ മെയിൻ ഗേറ്റിന്റെ തൊട്ടടുത്തുള്ളതാണ് നമ്മുടെ NSS garden. അപ്പോൾ ടീ ബ്രേക്ക് കഴിഞ്ഞ് എത്രയും പെട്ടെന്ന് എല്ലാവരും അവിടെ എത്തിച്ചേരുക. After the session, we will be having exhibition inauguration at the Green Lawn. After the session at 1:30, we will be having inauguration of exhibition.